Hi, it's Bart from Corwhin, and the next video, this video anyways, will be about something that is next on the line of things that I have to do for my business, and it's probably one of my least favorite, is marketing. Marketing, something I have to do, or anyone has to do as a business, to let people know you exist, what you offer, what you do, if it's a service, where you're located, your hours, and if you're looking for new customers, it informs them if they're looking for the service you provide, the product you provide, it informs them you exist and what you have and what you can do for them. It's not my favorite topic to do because I haven't got a lot of return from it in everything that I've done. And it's also something that you either have to be really focused on it or you have to get someone else to help you who's really focused on it, because when I'm worried about production, when I'm worried about getting things ready on time, when I'm dealing with pests, when I'm dealing with weather, it's just not on my mind. And I do try with these videos, and I do try with little clips on Instagram, which I'm still trying to figure out. I try to advertise what I'm doing, talk about what I'm doing, give the insight to the experience of what's going on, and hoping that that will let people know what I do, maybe help them out if they're going to be in that same situation. We've got a question that potentially growing wise I can help them with, or harvesting wise, or let them know what it is that I do. So the main point of income or source of income for my business is my CSA Farm Share Veggie Box. I also do direct sales. They have taken up less and less of what I do. I don't do farmers markets anymore. Working in the evenings, it's just too difficult. And when you do farmers markets, you could bring all kinds of stuff to the market and people could either buy you out in half an hour and you got to stay, you can't go back home and bring more, or you might come home with just everything you brought because people weren't, feeling the vibes of buying what you brought that day, or they're looking for things that aren't in season yet or the season's passed, so you don't have those things for them. And fourth source of income I've had for the business is consulting. It doesn't happen too often, but once in a while someone will want to know if I can do some brainstorming for them in order to see if I can potentially come up with an idea of how they could get into a small farming business of their own, or just help them feed themselves. But basically, you want to know, in this day and age, this digital day and age, you want people to know you exist. You can have a sign in lane, which I do. You can be in Google Maps, which I am, but that doesn't mean you will exist. And so I have the website. I will do ads in the papers. I have done mailbox stuffing campaigns. I have done Facebook ads, and I do, of course, social media. The biggest return, the biggest marketing device that I can have, that I found, is actually the County of Wellington, county I live in, their local food website. More people find me off that than they do off anything else. I have done a lot of different things, and I have to say the County of Wellington having all the local food, whether it's a butcher shop, whether it's a restaurant, all those different places being on the local food map, that has seemed to get a lot of people's attention. And when they're looking at the different CSAs or farm shares or market gardens or farmers markets, they look to see what's in their area, what the different prices are, if there's comparing the websites, and also what might fit in with their schedule. But I can't always rely on customers returning every year. It might not fit their budget. I've had customers that have moved to the US, so definitely they can't come up here and pick up their box of vegetables. I've had customers that have gone try other CSAs. I've had customers that decided that life was too busy and they weren't able to cook with fresh vegetables anymore. I'm sure I've had customers that have gone on, I've inspired them and they've gone on to starting their own garden, which is great. That's such an empowering thing to have develop and grow and work with your own food. Having said that, I do need new customers every year, and that's something I try to budget for, is because I was growing and growing and growing, and then post-COVID, everything is slowly shrinking, and it's not just myself. It is the other small farmers, the other market gardeners, the other people who go to and have their booths and sell as vendors at farmers markets. They're noticing their sales drops. They're noticing people walking through, that number's dropped as well. And I can say, perhaps it's the economy, perhaps it's the people not knowing if they're going to have a job, or maybe they've lost their job because of the tariff and trade disputes going on right now. Either way, do need new customers. So I have to be available, and I have to make sure that my website's up to date. I am making content like this, and I'm posting on Instagram. Also helps my friends and my coworkers know, like, this is what I'm doing. This is, I have a life outside of work. And I'm about to try a new venture, well, second time doing a new venture, where a bunch of us will be getting together that do CSAs and farm shares, and be getting together at the Guelph Farmers Market to have a booth and just have people come up and talk to us. We did this last year, and that was a night just for us in the farmers market, and I thought it was great. People knew exactly what we're coming for, but there was also a provincial election that happened that night, and it was bad weather, so it kind of spoiled things a little. This time we're going to be at the same time as the farmers market, so I think we might not be getting the same crowd, because this crowd eventually that I'm looking for, I know some others looking for, are those that can drive to the farms. A benefit for me not being far from the 401, or between the 401 and Guelph, or just between the roads that connect Milton and Cambridge. People commuting home from work can stop in at the farm, pick up their box. That's a benefit for me, but some people, it is out of their way. Some people, they only rely on public transportation, so I'm not the best choice for them. So I'm not sure if this venture will be good, but I'll try to add it into part of this video.
So, like many old-time fashion or older styles of marketing, I have a pamphlet, basically a threefold. Recently updated it, got my contact information, so that's the front, that's the back, yada yada yada. Printed off, looks like this, nice and pretty. And then when I fold it, it looks like this. So this has been years and years of modifications and work. And I'm glad I've taught myself how to use Microsoft Publisher, because it has been a lot better than Word or Excel to work in for making pamphlets. As well, here's my ad, also using Microsoft Publisher to make it. It's just something for the bottom of a quarter of the page, and it is to let people in my community know, because it's a monthly paper. It is letting those in the community know that I'm there, and I am supporting the paper as well. Just going to show my website. When I do go to Corwhin and just type that in Google up here, it does have me come up first, probably because that's showing on my computer, but it also shows my neighbor as well, Corwhin Tool Manufacturing, and yeah, a little bit about Corwhin in the township. I think there's Corwhin over in the UK as well, and that's what we're named after. But you have to have a website, and GoDaddy hosts my website for me. It's pretty slick. I used to take classes in order to build everything and learn that, and then have a program to do that. But this is just so slick with GoDaddy, and they host it all for me. And I have a lot on here. And the problem is just making sure that I can update it all, because there's just things constantly taking my attention away, such as availability. What's available right now? Not much. Basically, garlic. I could probably scrounge out some squash and carrots if we can get the snow off it. Share boxes. I've updated the price and all that, and the contents. And what I think is a big thing that I can't sell anywhere else, or I can't show anywhere else, is examples of what's in a farm share by month. Some items might be there for 3 months. Some items might be in a share for 2 weeks. But at least I can show everybody what else they could be getting. Herbs, because I grow a lot of herbs. That's in my name, what it is I grow. Rhubarb, this is something that is my biggest crop, but I have lost some markets to it, so I put this in over the winter time or the fall, and I have talked all about rhubarb. And there is so much to know about rhubarb. There's more than one variety. Land use, what I do with the land, that I had a roadside stand, but I can't do that anymore because I keep getting robbed. So I've had to stop doing that. and other things, FAQs, and how to contact us. But yeah, it's been great having GoDaddy host this. It just costs a little bit of money. I just spent the last about 5 hours at the Guelph Farmers Market. They had the regular market, and then they had a number of us CSAs or farm shares or Veggie Box programs come in, and they called it a CSA showcase. So display ourselves. Bit of a mix up, I guess, in that they didn't know I was coming, even though there'd been a bunch of emails and I paid the money. They didn't have space for me, so they kind of put in a 2.5 by 2.5 foot table beside another vendor's or another CSA farm. They all got 5 or 6 foot tables, which is fine. So I looked kind of like I was part of the farm beside me. I'm missing about 9 pamphlets, so I think 8 pamphlets were taken by people throughout the 5 hours, plus 1 I gave to the CSA farm beside me, just to let her know what I'm doing. We're not too far away, so but we don't really know one another. It was kind of introduction to us. A lot of the farmers market clientele were different from what we're kind of looking for CSA people, but it was an opportunity to let other people who didn't know what a CSA was, and there's a lot of people who did not know what it was, a lot of them, to educate them what we do. And we're all different, and we're all different locations, we have different prices, and we have different concentrations on what we focus on. So this has more or less been my video on the different marketing that I do. I think I've covered it all. I don't know if I mentioned or not, but there was a number of years that I would stuff mailboxes of pamphlets. I'd get hundreds and hundreds of pamphlets and spend hours folding them, and then go around, and walk the neighborhood. My block is probably 2 to 3 hour walk, and just stuff mailboxes. Never really got many results from it, but I got this, out there, had a good walk, and let my neighbors know what I'm doing, whether or not they know who I am or not. So marketing in itself is hard, because you're trying to find a solution to someone's problem, and that problem is, for some people, it's how do they get fed, how they get fresh vegetables, how do they get the bounty of a garden without having a garden. You can't really solve someone's problem if they don't have that problem, if they don't have a need. I was talking to a past customer yesterday, and he apologized for not coming back. They weren't eating enough fresh vegetables, they weren't home enough to cook. And I says, well, that means I wasn't filling your need. And you have a certain need, that's your requirement. And what I had in result, it didn't have those in a solution to answering your need, to addressing that problem you had, how to get food. But they need more prepared food than they needed fresh food, just because of time wise. And I deal with that a lot. People, you have to have more time to use fresh vegetables, and people don't always have that. I get that. So CSAs are not for everyone. Farmers markets are not for everyone. That's why there's grocery stores. That's why there's restaurants. So how do you market? How do you find those people that they have that need, or educate them that, this is something that they could do? It's hard. Some people do it really well, and some people, like myself, I'm still figuring it out. And hopefully I help people with that need, and that need is how do they get fresh food on their table. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. Sorry for rambling so much. It's something I don't put enough time into, and maybe because I don't get enough results back from it, because I am kind of a results-based person. So I always like to let people know I'm out there and market and all that, but it's just not one of my strengths. There's so many things that I have to focus on, and the main one's growing, because if I don't have that product, marketing's not going to save me from that. Marketing could just make it worse. Different things out there, and I'm glad that there's people have their own aspects of how to do things, and maybe I've tweaked some interest in yours or giving you some insight. Anyways, I hope this video was worthwhile, and thank you very much for watching. And remember, finish your vegetables, buy something local, and be good to each other. We will see you next time.